Greetings, Glitter Gang. Happy Thursday. How's it going? I hope you're all having a great day. So I see that I have my 4K capture card muted. That's interesting. That's the thing that... Oh yeah, no, that's normal. Oh gosh, it's like I just forgot how all of this works. I was like, how are they going to hear the sound from my desk that's not my voice? It's like the microphone will also pick that up, genius. Like, just, I don't know what I've been doing for the last 6 months, you know? Like, why I decided today I had to question if I'd set it up properly. Like, I don't know. It's going to be a day, everyone, okay? So this is going to be part of the Pouch-A-Lope album series. What we're specifically going to be doing today is we're going to be matting the lopes. Okay, so we matted the pouches. So the pouches are all matted and ready to go. Look how fun and bright and colorful they are. They look beautiful. Happy with that. So those are all matted, ready to go. Okay, then we started working on the envelopes, and what we did was we developed this closure, which is a it's just a tag that goes through these two loops. We weren't calling it a tag before. Oh, a spike. We were calling it a spike. So the Spike-A-Lope, I think, or something like that. So it's a spike that goes through these two loops, and while it's in both loops, you can't open your envelope. So this is just an alternative if you don't have magnets, basically. Or if you do have magnets but you don't want to use magnets, here's another one. All right. So now that we have proof of concept with the spikes, what we're going to do is we're going to finish matting these two envelopes, get them all matted, and then we'll start working on the rest of the envelopes. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to... This is the one I did before I realized you have to fold a piece of paper. Okay, so that they'll slide in easier. All right. Okie dokie. So I did this one first. So we're going to do that. All right, here's the spine. All right, here's my little measurements so I know what size to make all my paper. I think we're in pretty good shape. All right, so how is everyone doing today? Welcome. That's what we're going to be doing. I just want to let you know that my stomach is kind of upset. I haven't been feeling very well today, so if I might need to take like a brief break at some point. If I do, you know, I'll just do a recording break and put the little music up, and then I'll be back, you know, when I feel better. I know that it's pretty cold where oh, you'll notice that my nails are still the same. I didn't change my nails. I didn't change my nails because I took 2 baths and I soaked these in hot bubble bath, and only 1 nail fell off the whole week. Just one, this one. And so I saved it in case that was in case none of the other nails, like a few of them, like, I don't know if you can see the gap. Like this one has a little bit of a gap. Like I can get the tip of my nail under there, but I like can't get anything done. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to be wearing these nails until I die. So that's the situation. I put them on too well. They're on too well now. So that's like, it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. I'm never going to be able to change my nails. And so what I did is last night I just glued this one back on because I was like, well, so, I mean, I can't get the other 9 off. I guess we'll just redo this one. So I just redid this one. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I was too skilled with putting them on, and now, you know, here we are. So, so that's bad. So, I hope everyone is safe and warm. It's been crazy, the weather, pretty much everywhere. Not in Florida though. We are not even as cold. Like, we've had colder days this year, so we're doing fine. I have the air conditioning on right now. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. So, here, I'll make you sad. I'll make you sad. How about that right there? How's that? Does that make you mad? Like, how mad, on a scale of 1 to 11, how mad are you? So, sorry everyone. It's like, I mean, it was colder earlier this year though. Like, it can get cold here sometimes. It just isn't right now. So yeah, but there were parts, I had a friend who lives in Texas posted the temperature where she lives in Dallas and in Antarctica, like on the research station, like someplace in the Arctic Circle, right? And it was colder in Texas at the time than it was in the Arctic Circle. So, like, I know that it's like crazy where people are, and that power grids are totally overloaded, and there've been, rolling blackouts. People have had rolling blackouts in some areas. People have lost power in some areas. So I hope that everyone has power and is doing well. You're not mad, you're just envious. I would be too if I was somewhere where it was negative 40 degrees and somebody else, it was 80 degrees where they were. I would be very envious as well. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm not even going to pretend like, you know, the fact that it's hot in the summer here makes it even, because honestly, it's hot in the summer in a lot of the places where it's freezing cold right now. So, like, I remember one time I lived in Miami and I drove back to Northern Virginia for a birthday party, and it was like actually hotter and more humid in Northern Virginia than it was in Miami when I left. It snowed in Athens, Greece. Like, all over the whole, well, I guess Athens is pretty, I don't think Athens is in the mountains. Because, like, the highest point in Athens is something like 4 stories or 5 stories or something like that. That's one of the things we learned when we were in Athens, is like Athens is like a short city, and that's because there's like a building code there that nothing can be higher than the Acropolis, so that you can see the Acropolis from anywhere in the city theoretically. Like, you can't actually see it from anywhere in the city, because like if you're down on the ground and you're surrounded by 4-story buildings, you still can't really see it, you know. But you can see it from a lot of places. Like, I remember I was in just like picking up stamps, you know, for like postcards. And I turned around after checking out at the post office, and like there was a window, and the window was framing the Acropolis, like, it, you know, so it's like crazy. Anyways, and I'm sure you guys like enjoyed that explanation of Athens. Yeah, I don't think Athens is particularly high up, so we're not talking about like it's getting like snow because it's a mountain. That's why it almost never snows in Florida, by the way. So like when you there was a time when I lived in Miami where the whole country was in a deep freeze, even Florida was in a deep freeze. It was snowing in 49 of 50 states, and my sister texted me and was like, thanks for ruining it for everyone, because the only state it wasn't snowing in was Florida. And it's not that it can't snow in Florida. It has, like, I think it snowed in Miami in the 70s. It's just that when it's really cold, that's the dry season, so the odds of it being the right conditions for snow are like super rare. But there's also no mountains in the whole state. There's not one single mountain. So, like, you don't have any elevation where you would have snow at elevation like you do in places like Arizona, for example. So yeah, it's just like, snow's not a thing here. Not really. Not ever. It's not even like Texas where like every once in a while you get like a dusting of snow, you know? Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's see. All right. So hi to Kathryn and to Sandra, and like happy thoughts to Sandra because she's watching from her treatment room. So I hope we are a good distraction for you, Sandra. Kimberly, hi. Candy says happy glitter day. Yes, happy glitter day. Hi, Judy. Judy is frozen in Houston. Poor Judy. Poor everyone who's frozen. Carol Joan, hello. Donna, hi. Let's see. Barbara Jean is here to socialize everyone. Cindy, hello. Kimberly, thank you. You know, it comes and goes in waves. I don't know what's going on. I probably just ate something weird. Mary, hi, how are you? Mary had her surgery this morning. Hope she's doing well. Linda, hello. Hi, Mercy, how's it going? Yeah, Barbara Jean said I went fuzzy. If I ever just like suddenly go fuzzy, check the settings, which is the gear icon somewhere right around here on your screen, and make sure that YouTube hasn't put your connection to a lower resolution. Because YouTube's supposed to pick the resolution that would be the highest resolution you could have without buffering, but it doesn't always get it right, and you can often go higher than whatever they've got you on, especially if you've got good internet. Melanie, hello. Hi. Okay, so what else? Do I have any announcements? Next week is book week. So next week is book week. We're going to be talking during the show about Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. So if you have any intention of reading that book and you don't want spoilers, read it before next Thursday, because next Thursday is book club. And then next Thursday I'll also go over the books for March and for April. I guess I need to know the April books next week. Oh, it's so hard. Book club's the hardest thing I do. I just will want you to know. I just want you to know. Nothing is harder for me than book club. All right. I'm going to be a book expert by the time I get done with this. Content warnings for Kindred. It is a book that takes place at least partially in the pre-Civil War South on a plantation that does have slaves. So just know going in that is part of it, and just make sure you're in the right headspace, you know, or avoid it if you can't get in the right headspace. You know what I mean? All right. Okay. So here we are. We're going to do the inside of this. Okay. So we need to do here, here, and here. One of the things I've been thinking of is making a template for like an L frame around this. But then the other thing is maybe I should make just like a frame around it. Maybe I'll get one where the stamp is going the right way, so that, like, wow, how do these get so messed up? Okay, so we could like center it and put a paper frame around it, or we could put it like in the top left or top or bottom right or whatever. We can put it in any of the corners and do an L. What I was thinking with the L was maybe we could do a journaling spot, so that, like, the journaling kind of surrounds the piece. So that's an option. But of course, if we do a frame, then there's another way to get a piece of pattern paper in here. So, you know, it's a mixed bag. So I don't know what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts? You want to center the photo mat? The other thing is we could do just like decor, you know, maybe make little vignettes and then just like toss photo mats in there and have the like the photo mats held in by the flaps and the stick, the stabby spike, you know. So that's, I guess those are your 3 options. So let's do a vote. So option number 1 would be that we just decorate this, like we pick a pattern paper we want to highlight, or we maybe put some embellishments, or, you know, we just decorate it like a mini layout, and then we just lay photo mats on top. So that'd be option 1. Option 2 would be that we center a photo mat and do a frame around it. And then option 3 would be that we corner the photo mat and put an L bracket around it. Okay. So those are the options. I mean, I suppose technically we could do 2 of each. So let's just say option 4 is we'll do 2 of each. It'll make it harder to do like mass assembly, but it's not like the end of the world. But I do kind of like it when the photo mats are just hanging out, because it feels more interactive, you know? You know what I mean? All right, I'll let you vote, and while you are voting, I'm gonna work on picking pattern paper. So let's get some patterns of paper. Let's get some patterns of paper. All right, so we know that the top and bottom are both 7.5 inches wide. And then one of them is 3.5, and one, I think the bottom is 3.5 and the other is 3 3/4. So what I can do is I can just cut, you know, all this paper to 7.5 and cut as I go. But actually, before I do that, let me go through, since everyone wants to do the layouts pretty much, let's go through and find any that would make like something that would be kind of cool to highlight. So like this would be something we could add some decor around. So this would be one we could highlight. This is one, maybe. This one, neither side. This one, definitely. This one also with the floral. This one with the bird cage. And then this one kind of not. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these to whatever this is, and these will be the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, it's too bad we can't get a 6th one out of here. But there's not really, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Let me get the paper and we'll see what we see. Let's get the paper. We need 6, right? So oh, here's one. We use this one for the cover. Not that one. 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 No. No. And now we're into ones that we've already used. See, like this one? I think this one would be better. Bottom corner. Let's pull it out. This one's a maybe, but I don't know if it's any better than ones we already have. What's on the other side of these beans? Nothing I want to use. Candy's gonna do 2 of each. All right, so and then we've got this one, this one. I'm gonna just pull some stuff out. I'm gonna pull out the ones that I've already used as well, if I've used them. All right, okay. And then what's on the back of you? Where's your other half? Maybe I think I put it on this side. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and we're gonna find the 6 that we like the best. So maybe we'll do this one. Maybe this one. This is all that's left of this particular piece of paper if we do want to use it. This one, this half, I think. Not this. Maybe this. All right, so we've got these 4. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through these and we're going to say, what, if any, is better? What, if any, that I've pulled? First, let's pull 2 more, and then we'll say, is there any that's better? So we want that one, this one, I don't know, no. This one is a maybe. This one is a no. This one is a maybe because maybe these ladies are better, but we already used those ladies on the pouch. This is a no. No. This one is the same deal. Like maybe this corner is better, but we already used that corner in a pouch. This one I don't think is better. This one we actually didn't use. So see, it was just in the like used section, but we didn't actually use it. So I think we'll add this. That'll be our 5th one. And then let's make this maybe our 6th one. And then let's just see. 1. All right, I'm going to put this one and this one away. Okay. Like I said, we want to end up with 6. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the question is this bird better than this woman? I'm going to keep the bird because that'll allow me to decorate this corner. And that'll be nice. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, so now we just need to know what to cut these to. Oh, watch me do all this work. Okay, no, they're fine. I was going to say, watch me do all this work and then these scraps are too small, but the scraps are not too small. One of the measurements I didn't take was the back of this, so I'm going to write it down now. All right. And then we're gonna, well, it's 7.5. I know it's 7.5. I just don't know what is the back. Looks like it's 5.5, 7.5 by 5.5. Oh, that makes total sense. Because the sides are by 5.5. All right. Okay, so let me just double check that again. Yeah, 7.5 by 5.5. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm going to cut all 6 of these into 7.5 by 5.5 to go on the backs, and then we'll kind of parse them out where we're going to put them. You know, match them up with the piece that works the best for them. And then we'll start decorating them. halfway there. All right, so that's my 6th one. All right, let me get my scraps all organized here. All right, and I need my scrap bag. I didn't make one last week for my tiny scraps. So, because I have a few tiny scraps now. I mean, I had tiny scraps last week. I was just lazy. And by tiny scraps, I just mean scraps that, you know, maybe they're like an inch or so. So I might not see them as well to use them if they're not in a bag. And then these are all the loops for my stick and loop closures. They're in here, which is a nice reminder for me because I might forget. All right, so what I want to do is find which ones go best with which, because we, like I said, we've already started doing some. Okay, so like, see how this is bright blue? Or yellow, I mean. So this is a good place to use this blue one. All right. And then that's a cool look. See it? So now it's like coolly, like that's a cool framing. And then that's a cool thing to open up too. So that's what I mean when I want to say I want to find the right envelope for each pattern. So we want something that looks good with both. So this one, all right. This one is gonna be this, I think. So this one, okay. So now as long as these two each have one where they would look good, this one will look good here because we can keep that coffee cup right by where we have the coffee words. And then this one, the colors are just, they fit right. So there we go. All right. So you want to get that organized first before you start like prepping and doing stuff, because the reason why is you don't want to do 5 of them and then the 6th one that you have looks bad with the 6th one. You know what I mean? So you want to like lay them all out first, and that way you don't end up with a problem like that where like the last one you have looks really bad and now you have to cut a new one and you wasted your paper, you know. All right, so these I'm gonna paper clip or clothespin rather because I don't want them to open and my papers fly out and I forget which one goes where, and I don't want to have to like reorganize them, so I'm going to leave them clipped over there. This one can just hang out because it's got its stick. So now here is where we're going to start. Okay. So what I'm thinking for all of these is that we go to the embellishment bag and we look at all our cards and little things and borders and stuff and see, you know, what we can put as like little embellishment clusters down over here. Okay. So like we have a lot of these that we could do something interesting with. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these out now, put tape on them. So that we can sprinkle them here, there, and everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape the back while they're all together like this. And then we're going to, yeah, I just have to write it up, and I haven't done that yet because I've been working on trying to get everything finished for Scrappy Bowl before I announce new stuff. But it's coming shortly-ish. Soon to now. But not yet. Has not been announced yet. But I'm going to do it. And if I don't get my act together quickly, then, you know, I'll just extend the deadline, and then we'll do a reminder during National Scrapbook Day instead of a reveal. I don't remember how long I let it go last time. I think it was only a month or two, so I do want to do more time, but we'll see. All right, so these, and then so something like this would be good in the pouch. We need to think about stuff like these envelopes when we get to the pouches. All right. But yeah, something like that would be posted in the Facebook group. So, and it would probably be pinned. So if you didn't see it pinned in the announcements, it just means I haven't done it yet. My big drama for the week was that Viva Las Vegas wouldn't let me order all the tape I needed for the miracle tape. Like they were like, that order's too large for the inventory, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, all right, fine, I guess we'll never do this again. So but it was, and I panicked for like a whole day. I was like, how am I going to deal with this? This is another thing that would look really cute. You know, something like that. Maybe not on this particular one. So, oh, lunch date with the girls, but first coffee. Maybe that's what we need. But I will give you plenty of time. I will give you plenty of time. But you could be working on it anyway, because you know the parameters. It just is, it has to be one of my projects, and it has to be finished. So it has to be, so what they're talking about is they're talking about the glitter party, which is where you share your albums that you've made from my tutorials. We did it once in 2019. I'm going to do it again this year at some point. And essentially what you would do is, once there's a hashtag, you would post your project in the Facebook group, and it has to be a complete project, meaning it has to be totally finished. Okay, so either it has to have your photos in it, or if you're going to not put your photos in it, you're going to gift it, it has to have clear photo mats so people know where the photos go. So it has to be totally done, either giftable or actually has your photos in it. People have done it both ways. Either way is fine. And it has to be based on a project I've done. And then so it doesn't have to be a paid tutorial. It could be a free one, like this one is free. But it has to be very clearly inspired by, based on one of my projects. You can combine two. That's been asked before, like, can I use the envelopes from Half the Fun in, you know, the Twice the Fun album? Yes, of course you can. You can do stuff like that. You would just list both projects. You would just say this uses the envelopes from Half the Fun in the Twice the Fun base, you know, whatever. And you'll link to whatever it is that you used. So like if you used Half the Fun and Twice the Fun, for example, you would link to Half the Fun and Twice the Fun in the shop. And if you use the playlist on YouTube like this, you would link to the playlist on YouTube. That's all it is. But so you can be working on it right now if you want to be working on it right now. I mean, because essentially you just have to pick a project and make it, you know. But it's not your own original work, like, you know, an album you completely came up with that's 100% your ideas. No. That's the only thing that you wouldn't do, or somebody else's project. So, all right. Let's see. I want something specifically for this. Looking. Trying to figure out what I want my theme to be. I'm going to take one of each of these and set them aside to lessen my visual distraction, so I know, like, I'm not looking at the same thing twice. And now I'm going to do, let's look at the cards. All right. So, you know, here we have this, it says like, but first coffee. So we're not going to use something like, if you spend your whole life waiting for the storm, you'll never enjoy the sunshine. I mean, you could, I could, but that doesn't, like, but first coffee, it doesn't work with that. As well as, for example, a smile is the best makeup a girl could wear, but first coffee makes a little more sense, meaning like, I'll put my makeup on, but first I'm having coffee, okay? I'm going to set one of each of these aside as well. Again, just so I look at things only one time. Okay. All right, so let's see. So something like this stack, we could cut out this little stack here and put it there. That could be fun. I could give up shopping, but I'm no quitter. That's funny. Let's see. Alright, none of these are jumping out at me, so I do still like these two. I do like this one. Actually is growing on me the longer I look at it. So I'm just gonna kind of, with that in mind, go through and say, now I could make a cluster also that's like a coffee cluster. So like this bag of coffee, something that says Java, maybe a cup tucked behind. Coffee makes you happy. Like, what if we did coffee bag, cafe. We're going to get into a little bit of a slowdown just because, you know, decorating is the part I spend the most time on. So, little coffee house, sign back here, little bag, little cafe open, maybe do a little bright yellow arrow. Saying cafe's open that way. What else could we do? Something that can go right in there is what I need. I have these beans, but they're so oversized compared to, because this is the actual printed paper. This is not, I didn't print this. This is the actual paper pack. And she puts patterns on the back of the embellishments. Okay, so that's that page. So let's think about other pages that we could use. I mean, we could do even something like this little dark roast here. So yeah, if you get the printed version of this paper, the embellishment pages have patterns on the back. Maybe we could tuck this little dark roast in the side there. That's cute. That's a cute little cluster of things. Okay, I think that's a good. Yeah, the butterfly fashion is really cute. I like that too. This one. But I agree, not with this folder. With one of the more fashiony folders versus one of the more coffee folders. Alright, so we're going to go with that. That little cluster right there is looking pretty good. Okay. Good, 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 good. So I'm gonna grab another tiny bag for the stuff like this. So that they don't get lost in this pocket, anything that's already kind of cut out. Ooh. So the stuff that's already cut out doesn't get lost in the pocket, especially because I am going to cut these because there might be some I can stick somewhere on this page. All right. Okay, then what I'm going to do is going to just give me a second here. All right. I'm gonna put tape on the back of these. And cut them all out. Okay. All right, so with this, you know, it's just doing your best to get everything cut out. And then burnish with your tape. And then all you have to do is cut them out. Now, when you're cutting these out, you know, try to cut on the line so that there's a little sliver of line with each one. But, you know, just do the best you can, because you're not going to be able to keep the line all the way around on all the pieces necessarily. You may have a piece of tape that shifts around on you. All right, now these scissors, my pink ones, they need to be sharpened. How funny. Finally, they finally need to be sharpened. Of course. I wonder if the knife sharpening people are still going around to the Joann's right now or not. So just gonna cut all these out. And this is one of those things, I'm more likely to use an embellishment like this if it's already cut out and I can kind of test how they all fit. So I take the time to prep embellishments like this. This is about how do you craft. You know, if you're more likely to use an embellishment that's on a sheet, then don't cut yours out like this. So that's all. It's all. It's just think about how you craft, how you use your supplies, and make it as easy for you as possible. Like if you struggle with using embellishments, or you feel like you don't use as many embellishments as you want to use, that sort of thing, then think about what you could maybe do with your supplies that would make you use them more. Because sometimes taking the time to do something like this means the difference between using maybe like one or two of these and using almost all of them. All right. Brows, lashes, coffee. I mean, that's a good day. Okay, we're getting there. All right, now here's what I'm thinking. What if we glued these all together into a clump? Something like that. And then, so we have 3 yellows. We can just stick this up here, right there. And then what we could do is we could glue these all together like they're one piece, like one embellishment, onto a piece of gray cardstock and make like a little hinge, and there could be a journaling spot underneath it if we wanted a place for journaling on the page. Or we could make it almost like a little pocket, and you could put journaling spots in it. So those are kind of the two ways we can go with this. Let's think about that. Let me think about it. I'm going to start cutting these out because either way I'm going to need to use glue, I think. But what I mean is I would glue all these little pieces to each other so that they formed like one element, one page element, almost like they were like a printed embellishment. And then what I would do is I would stick them on a piece of cardstock, and then we could either turn that piece of cardstock into a pocket, or we could turn it into a folder that had a journaling spot on the inside. So either a pocket with journaling spots stuffed into it, or a folder that opened and then there was journaling on the inside of the folder. Either way. So what are you thinking, pocket or folder? All right, so I'm just gonna grab out my journaling spot, not my journaling spot, my glass mat, and finish cutting this with my knife. Just so because it's a little tricky to get something that tiny cut out. What is, oh, I see. All right. I'm probably going to need my glass mat and craft knife again for the Java. And then all right, I'll make it into a folder. It's not going to be like an actual file folder shape because I think I'm going to make it shaped the same as this embellishment cluster. So it's not going to be a regular rectangular shape. You can't, okay, so if you're looking for plastic storage bags like I use, you have two choices. One is you can pay more per bag but get far fewer bags and spend less money overall. Or you can pay less per bag but get far more bags and spend more money overall. So it's just a matter of like, you know, how many bags you think you're going to use over the course of your lifetime, whether you think 100 is going to be plenty or whether or not you think you need 1,000. I think you can probably do 100. If you want a small quantity, go to Clear Bags. That's the website, Clear Bags. And if you want a large quantity, go to Uline. That's where I get them. Uline. Okay, so, but Clear Bags has every kind of bag you can possibly imagine. I recommend for like scraps and, you know, stuff like when you're working on a project like this, I recommend the 5x7 bags because the 5x7 bags will hold 4x6 photo mats, like 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mats, or 4x6 photos. But yeah, that's clearbags.com, or just Google Clear Bags, and they have tons and tons and tons of bags, and I think you can search by size. So yeah, like just go with 5x7. Well, for the mill, that's going to depend on whether or not you think you're going to reuse them regularly or not. So you can get a nicer mill if you're if you're going to reuse them. I reuse my bags. I don't know what the mill is because I get mine from Uline. And by get, I mean I got them like many, many, many years ago. So I don't know what they were. But I get them a little, you know, get them a little thicker if you want them to be sturdy. But they're not like, you don't have to go crazy with the thickness because you don't put a lot of stress on these, right? They're just gonna, most of their time they're gonna be spent living in a bag, you know, in another bag. Oh, and if you have the choice for the bags, I recommend no smaller than 14x14 for your paper bags, because the 13x13 bags only give you like a 1/2 inch all the way around, and if the paper has a 1/2 inch strip on it, it starts getting really tight in the bag. So don't go any smaller than 13x13 for the big bags. Or excuse me, 14x14. I recommend not going any smaller than 14x14. And then, you know, whether or not you need a hang hole, like if you have pegboard, you could hang your page kits on your pegboard if you get hang holes in your bags, but you don't need them unless you're thinking you're going to do that. You could just get regular bags without them. So okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of scrap gray cardstock, and I'm going to cut it 5 inches tall so that I don't make my folder, like I know, you know, how much room I have to work with my folder. All right. So this is a 12 inch by 5 inch piece, and now I'm gonna do 6 inches. So yeah, I don't know what I bought because I bought forever ago. But I'm just going to fold it in half. And I'll show you why in a bit. All right. So, like I said, I'm thinking we're going to do this. And then we're going to put this on the edge. Like that. And then we'll put our little Java bag like that. And then we'll put our little cafe open like that. And then we'll put our little arrow like that. Tuck this in right there. Make it look cute. And then when we cut the edge, we'll cut this edge like that. Like follow the shape. Although this is awfully close to being straight, so I don't know. I could probably arrange it so it could be just a straight folder. And put a little tab on it. But I don't know what I would put on the tab. So maybe I'll just leave it with my original plan to cut around the edge. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink these pieces and then glue them with liquid glue. I'm going to ink with pumice stone from Ranger Tim Holtz. And yeah. All right, so that's all those pieces, but I want to ink this Cup of Joe piece that I'm going to stick. Oh wait, no, it's not the Cup of Joe piece. It's this Best Day Ever piece that I want to stick. To the page itself. All right, so actually gonna have to ink this page as well, so all right, so wonder if I want to do Best Day Ever. No, I don't think so. Okay. So I'm just going to trim the edge off, and I'll look, if someone reminds me, I'll look on clear bags and find like a link to something very comparable to what I use so that you guys can see, those of you who want to get your own little plastic bags to use. The clear bags are very, very nice. They last a long time and you can reuse them a bunch of times. So, all right, so let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this and set it aside so it's ready to go once we're done making our folder. Can't find my glitter gang tools. Cool, whatever. I'll find it later. All right, and then once I've got this taped, I'm gonna have to take a break, and I'll be back to stick everything together. So let me get this taped, and then I'll go quickly, and then I'll be right back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a recording break here, and the next video we'll have the next video in the series will have the assembly of all of this, but I have to take a quick break and I'll be right back. So I'll put the music on while I'm gone.